You guys, we have a major update in the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni lawsuit. I did not think that we were going to get another update this soon, but the judge made a huge decision this week, and we are going to get into everything because this really changes some things, and Justin is going to have to really decide what he's going to do next. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni are still in the middle of their legal drama, but things just took a major turn, and spoiler alert, it's not looking good for Justin. On Monday, a federal judge dismissed both of Justin Baldoni's massive lawsuits. We're talking about the $400 million countersuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist, and the $250 million defamation case against the New York Times. Both gone as of right now. So let's rewind for just a second in case you're like, wait, what happened? Okay. This all started when Blake Lively, as we probably all know by now, because we've been talking about this lawsuit for months, literally since like Christmas, this has been a huge discussion. But Blake had accused Justin of harassment and retaliation while filming the film It Ends With Us. And once those allegations came out in a New York Times article, people were talking about it. And honestly, for a second, the internet was on Blake's side, feeling like, while she ruined her own reputation promoting the film the way that she did, they felt like the messages shown in this New York Times article from Blake Lively's complaint clearly showed Justin and his team planning to ruin her reputation, and the things that she wrote happen on set, people were also not loving what they were hearing, that he was inappropriate with improvised kisses and people on the crew walking in while she was changing or breastfeeding and showing her inappropriate adult content that made her uncomfortable. So when this was the only thing that was out, people were like, oh my gosh, like this is sick. Like this guy is whack. Now, Justin and his team responded by saying that the texts were cherry picked to make him look bad and his team, and that what was being alleged was not true. He filed a $400 million lawsuit claiming that Blake, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist Leslie Sloan were part of a full-on smear campaign meant to destroy his career. He claimed that they defamed him, extorted him, and tried to get him blacklisted in Hollywood. He even took it further, suing the New York Times for $250 million, saying that their reporting on Blake's claims was defamatory. His team has been working hard to prove his innocence by creating a website and also releasing unedited footage of the movie It Ends With Us to prove that one portion of what Blake described in her complaint, that, Justin had improvised kissing and all of this, they wanted to show this unedited footage to be like, that is not what happened. And I will say that once people saw that footage, people were like, wait a minute, this is not exactly what Blake wrote happened in her complaint. And people were doubting Blake. They were like, I don't know, girl. I don't want to say that you're lying, or I don't want to say that, someone that's coming out and said something happened to them is a liar. But people were just like, gosh, Justin and his team are coming out with all of this stuff. And the public was majority on Justin's side. Though I do believe if Blake had just admitted that she didn't promote the movie in the best way and took ownership over wanting to change so much of the film, people would have been more open to a positive outcome for her in this lawsuit. But because it seemed that her and Ryan were starting to get like a little arrogant about, them in this case and going to SNL and making a joke about the situation, and people just were feeling like, this is really serious, and we feel like you making a joke about the situation isn't the best look, and how her and Ryan have been navigating themselves in the press and things that have been coming out about them from behind the scenes, it hasn't made them the most likable. And it certainly has affected public opinion's way of viewing this entire case, and it's why a lot of people have been Team Justin. But now the judge has come through with a reality check for Justin and his team, and people are shocked by what's being said. In a ruling issued on Monday, the court dismissed both of Justin's lawsuits. Let's start with the big one, the $400 million suit. The judge said Blake cannot be sued over what she wrote in her legal complaint against Justin. Why? Because under US law, legal filings claims are considered privileged. Basically, anything someone says in court documents, especially when reporting harassment, is protected speech. You can't sue them for defamation over it. That protection exists so people aren't afraid to come forward, especially in sensitive cases like this. It's meant to prevent lawsuits from being used as a way to silence victims, so that alone took out a huge chunk of Justin's claims. Now for the rest, including the accusations against Ryan Reynolds, Leslie Sloan, and the New York Times. The judge said that Justin's legal team never even alleged that those people knew the statements were false or even doubted them, which, if you know, is a huge part of proving defamation. Like, you can't just say, they said something that hurt me. You have to prove that they knew it was likely untrue and said it anyway just to hurt you. And the judge basically said that Justin's team didn't even come close to meeting that standard. Now, here's where it gets interesting because the judge didn't throw out everything, okay? He gave Justin's legal team until June 23rd to revise and refile a couple of the smaller claims. Even those aren't guaranteed to hold up if they don't come back with stronger evidence. So basically, the press has been reporting on this as a major loss for Justin and his legal team. People reported Lively's lawyers Ezra Hudson and Mike Gottlieb called the decision a total victory and a complete vindication for the actress and the others whom Justin Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties dragged into their retaliatory lawsuit, including Ryan Reynolds, Leslie Sloan, and the New York Times. As we have said from day one, this $400 million lawsuit was a sham and the court saw right through it. They said in the statement, adding that we look forward to the next round, which is seeking attorney's fees, treble damages, and punitive damages from the Wayfarer parties who they say perpetuated this abusive litigation. The New York Times has stood by their reporting this entire time, saying that the story was meticulously and responsibly reported. Now, just days before the judge dismissed Justin's massive lawsuits, Blake Lively made a calculated legal move that we recently talked about over the weekend as she dropped her emotional distress claims against him. The decision came after Justin's legal team demanded access to Blake's private therapy notes and medical records, arguing they were necessary to evaluate her claims of intentional and negligent infliction of emotional distress. Blake's legal team fired back, calling the request a press stunt, and insisted that the core of her case was to focus on the harassment and retaliation and didn't require such invasive disclosures. Rather than continue disputing the request for her private medical records, Blake chose to withdraw specific emotional distress claims, which removed the need to produce that information. Her team claimed that they just wanted to focus on the core allegations, which were harassment and retaliation. Now, Justin's team didn't like this, and they didn't hold back when she dropped her emotional distress claims. They pushed for the withdrawal to be with prejudice, which would have prevented her from bringing those claims back up in the future. So she would not have the opportunity to bring this back up again. Their argument was that Blake was trying to sidestep the court's request for her private therapy notes and medical records while still leaving the door open to reassert those claims later. They reframed it as an attempt to avoid transparency, saying that she shouldn't be able to make such serious allegations without providing the supporting documentation. Blake's team, on the other hand, clapped back. They called what Justin and his team were saying and doing a publicity stunt, arguing that the emotional distress claims were no longer central to their case and that the withdrawal was just simply to keep their lawsuit focused and efficient. And they insisted that this wasn't about hiding anything, it was about cutting out unnecessary distractions. Ultimately, the judge said that they would accept the withdrawal and deny Justin's request for her medical records. And since this new information has come out about these two lawsuits getting dismissed by the judge, Blake Lively has come out in a statement to address the situation. She wrote on her story on Monday, "Last week, I stood proudly alongside 19 organizations united in defending women's rights to speak up for their safety. Like so many others, I felt the pain of a retaliatory lawsuit, including the manufactured shame that tries to break us. While the suit against me was defeated, so many don't have the resources to fight back. I'm more resolved than ever to continue to stand for every woman's right to have a voice in protecting themselves, including their safety, their integrity, their dignity, and their story. There are protections out there. Check out some of the incredible organizations below for resources and information. With love and gratitude for the many who stood by me, many of you I know, many of you I don't, but I will never stop appreciating or advocating for you, B. We just have to see what Justin's next move is going to be, as him and his team do have, like I said, until June 23rd to make their next move in court. Though his $400 million countersuit and $250 defamation suit were dismissed, like I said, he can come back before the 23rd and revise some things. And obviously people have been watching this case very closely and reacting to this news, but I certainly want to know what you guys think about this new update in the Blake and Justin case. Let me know all of your thoughts. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.